My girlfriend told me she was pregnant, so I had arranged to move all her stuff out behind her back. If you only read the title, I might sound like a bad guy. But I'm not. I've known I wanted to be child-free since my early teens. My parents didn't oppose me, but they did say I could change my mind. Since I'm not an only child, they'll still get grandchildren. When I was 20, I got a vasectomy. When I was 22, I met my girlfriend. I've been open about wanting to be child-free from the very beginning. I remember telling her about my vasectomy, but to be honest, I think there was already alcohol involved. So I'm not sure if she remembers. We were dating for a year and a half when she moved in with me. I'm now 25. 2 weeks ago, I got home from work, and my girlfriend was standing in the living room smiling. She showed me the positive pregnancy test. Thinking it was a TikTok prank, I played along. When she didn't reveal it was a prank, I knew what had happened, but I continued playing along. That night, I got up at midnight and started sending emails. I took a week off work and emailed my best friends the details, telling them to pretend they knew nothing and be prepared. The next morning, I left for work as usual, but I didn't go to work. Carl, one of my friends, was waiting outside. He had a cap and a hoodie ready for me. The whole week, we followed Katie, and on day 3, she met up with her affair partner. We followed them to a motel, and then Carl followed him to his home. The guy was married with kids. We devised a plan. I convinced Katie to go to her parents' house to tell them the good news last Saturday. While there, I gave my friends the keys to my home. At Katie's parents' house, we had lunch with the parents and siblings first, and then Katie told them the good news. Everyone was happy. After a while, I got a call I had to take. It was my friends telling me they were done and ready. So I asked to make an announcement. I pulled Katie aside in front of everyone. I bet they thought I was going to propose. I started by telling how we met, how much she meant to me, and ended with, "And that's why it hurt so much that you cheated on me and got pregnant by someone else." The room was silent. Katie looked shocked. She started telling me it wasn't a funny joke. I said I'm not joking. The moment you told me you were pregnant, I knew you cheated. I got a vasectomy 5 years ago, and I go to checkups every year. So if you're pregnant, you have cheated. At that moment, her phone rang. I told her to answer it. It was probably AP's full name. You know, the real father of your baby. Probably wants to talk about you moving in. Not sure if his wife and kids are going to like that. What happened was that my friends had loaded up everything of Katie's in a U-Haul and brought it to AP's home. When they called me, they were in front of his home for the final part. They rang the doorbell and asked the AP where they could put her things. He was confused, and they handed him and his wife a folder with pictures of him and Katie. And Carl said, since OP is kicking her out, she needs a place to stay. We're just here delivering her things. And since you don't want the woman who is pregnant with your child to stay on the street, we assumed you would take her in. AP called Katie yelling that she ruined his life and he never wants to see her again. After hearing him scream over the phone, I said, "Oh, so his wife doesn't want his mistress and their affair baby living there. So you'll have to stay here. With your parents." With that, I walked away, leaving a crying Katie and her confused and angry family behind. My friends brought the U-Haul with her stuff to her parents' house after the AP refused to accept it. I went home where my sister was waiting for me. She knew everything. This was not part of my plan, but Carl knows me so well. I broke down and cried in my sister's arms. She stayed the weekend taking care of me, allowing me to grieve and process the betrayal. Small update. It's been a week since I dumped Katie at her parents' house. My boys cleaned out my home and brought everything of Katie's to her parents. But because I didn't have time to mark everything that was Katie's, the boys didn't take everything that belonged to her. And they even took some things of mine. So I called her sister to arrange a meeting to exchange our belongings. The sister agreed under one condition, a sit down with Katie to hear her out. I would have just left everything there, but the tablet had some pretty important work stuff, so I agreed to hear Katie out. But I made it very clear that there was no chance of us getting back together. Katie was a shadow of her former self. She started with small talk, but I quickly told her I wasn't there for that. She wanted to apologize. Here is where I almost lost it. I wanted to yell at her for destroying our relationship. I wanted to yell that I can't accept a simple apology for destroying my trust. But I didn't yell. I was quiet. I didn't accept the apology, I also didn't reject the apology. I just said nothing. She asked why I never asked why she did it. I said there was nothing she could say to justify what she did. So it didn't matter which excuse she came up with. She said she really thought the child was mine because we weren't using protection, vasectomy with yearly checkups. And she was hoping that I would change my mind about being child-free as soon as I saw that she was pregnant. I told her that was a very dumb assumption, and she clearly did not use any protection with her affair partner. She told me she thought it was unfair of me to expose the affair to her family. I didn't have to do that. My response was, that's right, I didn't have to. I chose to. Just like you chose to cheat on me, just like AP chose to cheat on his wife. These are just the consequences of those choices. She asked me if we still had a chance. My 25F, BF, 28M, cheated on me, and I got fairly satisfactory revenge. I'm going to make this as short and sweet as I can. Basically, I, 25F, went through my BF's, 28, phone. He had cheated on me with an ex and was telling her that he loved her so much and couldn't wait to be the stepfather to her children, and he was going to leave me for her. She knew he was with me and didn't care. We have been together for 7 months officially, but have been seeing each other for over a year now. We had plans to move in together, and I had a lot of things at his house, including my cat, because I didn't want to leave her home alone all the time when I spent over 75% of my time at his house. So, I decided while he was at work, to move all my things home. I took the key to my apartment off his key ring the night before. After moving everything out and telling him, he proceeded to freak out. He is a narcissist, and he would gaslight me and all kinds of things. So he immediately tried to take control of the situation. I did not let him, and I think for the first time ever he was not in control and he didn't know how to handle, so he resorted to buying me things and begging for my love. Here it gets a little more complicated. Let's just say we had a really great time in the bedroom and we would like to make explicit content to save for later. We had quite a few, so I agreed to stay with him in the condition that he blocked her, and I decided I was going to sneak in and delete everything off his devices. I did not move my things back in. This all happened 1 week ago, and tonight I got everything deleted off of everything and successfully ruined any kind of a relationship he may have had with the other girl. In their last convo, she called him an a-hole, and he told her I treated him the best and loved him and it wasn't worth losing me over. So I am now going to leave this relationship knowing that my content is no longer in his hands, and that he most likely will be alone completely as well because she hates him too now. That is my whole story. I just really wanted to share with someone else that may appreciate it with me. TLDR, my 25F, BF, 28M, cheated on me and was going to leave me for another woman. I not only destroyed any kind of relationship they had, but also got my explicit content deleted safely off all his devices, and can now leave officially without fretting over my content. Update. So, first of all, I definitely was shocked when I got this amount of responses, and kind words and awards. I am truly shocked and grateful for all the support from all of you. Second, I would like to address the point that a lot of you were making about my content. I understand how technology works, and I am fully aware I could have missed something or that he could try to get them restored. I had 4 straight hours on his phone and covered every single one of my bases. I got in the cloud, I emptied from the trash bin after deleting things, ECT. I truly believe he would have to pay someone to get it all recovered if I didn't miss anything, and I don't think he would go to that extent. I believe he would just find another girl to do those things with and make new. There are obviously specific details I may have forgotten or left out due to trying to shorten the story up. I have responded to a lot of your comments and tried to clear anything up. Now the update you all are waiting for. So basically, Friday night/Saturday morning he was mad at me and ended up sleeping on the couch and left his phone in the bedroom. I was able to get on there and go through every inch of it and even ended up finding videos other than my own. I deleted it all. I checked, double-checked, and triple-checked many times. Finally, he came back to the bedroom, so I got up, got dressed, and left. His bike was in the back of my car, so I dropped it off by his back door and left a stuffed animal he had won for me on top of it so he would get the hint. And then I went home and blocked all social media, but not his number, mostly so I could see what he would try to do, not because I wanted to answer him. He called me about 7 times and texted me numerous times. He said he was going to come over even if I called the cops. He loved me, he wanted to be with me. He told me he was crying and could barely see his phone screen, and that he had planned on waking up that day and taking me out to look at houses for rent and waking me up to coffee and a good time. He went on and on but never showed up and eventually stopped texting me. I think he knows and understands that I made my choice and I won this battle. Hopefully, he stays away so I can get over this in my own time and heal from it all. Thank you again for all the kind words and awards. You all have really helped me through this hard time I'm having, and I could not be more grateful. I took revenge on a cheating ex, and I went overboard. So recently, I found out that my ex had a flirtatious relationship at work with one of her managers at a restaurant she works at. This involved sexual dirty talking while on the shift, sexual compliments, and photo sharing, and plans to hang out. I found out, and told her not to text the other guy again and block him. Well, something told me to check her phone again, and it didn't take less a full day for her to respond back to his texts on iMessage, thus continuing the contact of cheating on me. What's worst is how she described getting caught by me to be hilarious, funny, and that she'll reach out to this guy when we're done. She made me sound like a doormat, a joke, an option, as if everything we had was a plaything for her to play with. Feeling emasculated, embarrassed, and surprised she could ever talk about me like this to another man, I posted her incriminating screenshots to her social media feeds, Instagram and Snapchat stories since I had access to the accounts, and sent those screenshots to the guy she was cheating on me with, and her boss at work since she was doing it with another manager at the restaurant. I also sent them to her mother, as she was texting this guy the whole week I was helping her mother move to her new home. The guy responded immediately, and her boss and mother has yet to respond. She later called me back to apologize about the ordeal, but the damage was already done and I broke the news to her about what I did and to screw her. I think I went overboard, as this is something I never done, take revenge on someone by screwing them over. Update, I've seen that her boss has looked at the message I sent her of my ex cheating at work on the job with another restaurant manager. The boss hasn't replied yet, but she definitely knows now. Time will tell if she'll continue to be working there. Update 2, apparently she still has her job from the restaurant, and she's doing damage control from the social media posts. Update 3, she replied back to me letting me know the developments I about posted learning before, and that only a person like me would care to see that happen. The conversation turned in a really ugly mood. The damage has already been done, I'm being spiteful, and I'm done talking with her. I'm going to desperately seek therapy and work on myself for the better. I didn't expect this to blow up, but I appreciate the advice all around. She never wanted me, or deserved it all. Update 4, I contacted the owner and showed him pictures of what happened. He legally said he can't get involved for situations that happened outside the restaurant. The screenshots clearly show her and the manager sexually flirting during the workday on the hour. I don't think he really wants to get involved. We live in an at-will employment state, meaning the employer can fire you for a reason other than an illegal one. So as uncomfortable as it is for her, the owner, GM, the manager she cheated with, unfortunately, she'll keep her job, but boy, it'll be uncomfortable working there. Final update, the guy she managed to cheat on me with is a single father, co-parenting a son with another woman. I found out who the woman was, and showed her all the screenshots. Unfortunately, she saw them texting each other for well over a year ago, and that she told him to not text her anymore because she doesn't want him hanging out with anyone that doesn't like the mother of their son. My ex-girlfriend knew her and was extremely rude and snobbish with her. They're not together anymore, so she didn't know the exact lengths of their relationship, however she knew that texted each other a lot. To no surprise, their relationship also ended because he was also cheating on her at the same restaurant with another woman that worked there while their son was extremely young. For all the talk about how my ex-GF didn't want to be a single mother and how she despised her father for cheating on her mother while she was pregnant, she sure loved playing the role as the other woman.